breed of sheep over in Russia, and their wool was tight, so that the product of the wool made warmer clothes. And yeah, he brought them over and introduced them and so on.
Dad has a poster at home. You probably have seen it, but it's a poster of Dr. Carl Jung giving a speech or whatever at Carnegie Hall. It's really cool.
Ooh,
I need to see it, but it's really neat.
He's got a book in New York, Dr. Carl Jung.
When you're talking about second cousins or whatever, some of us know Lee Roberts. His mother was Emma, whose mother was Bertha, Grandpa's sister, and he has a copy of that book. They're Mormon, and they're really big into family history, as you know, and they go back at least 3 generations. So he's visited all long time ago, back in the 60s when he started. He visited the Gatskys, Ida and Gus Gatsky down in Texas, and he has a copy of the book by Dr. Carl Jung, and then to Americanize it, it's Carl Jung. And I believe, Benny said he was a son, but I believe he was Grandma's brother.
Right.
And if you haven't heard the family legend that, and I think it was Lee's grandma Bertha, when they came over from Hamburg, and when they got to the East Coast, Bertha had problems with her eyes. And if you read anything, there was any reason they didn't want people in the U.S., they sent them home. And it didn't matter, you know. And so his being a doctor, he said, we'll take care of it because it's just the salt air and the wind has irritated her eyes. And so he cured her, and they came in through Galveston. Do you know why they settled in Texas?
I don't know.
And then from Texas, they went to Idaho. Do you know why they went to Idaho?
Well, Dad just went up with Marie Newfield, is all I know. But, you know, the Witts are smart. you know, everything that was done, Dad knew how to do it, and Grandpa knew how to do it. Whenever he had that orchard there on a farm, he had a little wheelbarrow with a barrel on it, and he carried water from the wheelbarrow to the fruit trees to irrigate it. And Grandpa Witt, he could transfer different fruit trees if they had the same seed from one species to the other. And there was no, well, in fact, the Switch are no dummies.
If
We
you
have the original current Switch from out there.
Yeah, if you never were, or if you were on in the place where I grew up, what is it, 100 by 100 yards, or who has a guess?
It was a big garden.
Big garden, and I know on the west side there was currants from the house on down. On the back of it there were mulberry trees. I remember apricots, and younger there were cherries and plums and sand plums and maybe other things. And I always wondered, because he had to take that water at least, 50 yards, 75, 100 yards the further. And that's the other thing Uncle Benny told me, it was about this method of carrying the water on this water.
Wheelbarrow with the barrel fastened on. Carried it from the well where the windmill was. Did you know in Colorado, they where Jimmy and Bob grew up, they had this one well, and it was hard water, and it wasn't enough water to feed the livestock, so they went over 50 foot and put another well down, and it was soft water.
And every time I go to the dentist says, wow, because there was the fluoride or something in the minerals in the water that I grew up on gave me the blessing of my good teeth. Okay, question, you have anything else?
That's about all.
Ron?
I had heard that Grandpa was involved in driving cattle up from Texas up into the Northwest, up into that area. Is that true or not? I know we found pictures of you guys having horses.
Oh, so, okay, from Texas maybe to Colorado
Yes.
and driving cattle.
That's what I had
Grandpa G.
heard, yeah, from Texas on up, because he came over at a very young age. But I know we found pictures that we're going to be sharing on Sunday that evidently y'all had horses, because I think Aunt Frida's standing out by a horse. Correct on that? Lana, is that correct? Was that Aunt Frida standing by the horse out there? The pictures that we were looking at? Anyhow, we've got some photos of that, so I was curious as to whether that was true, what I'd heard in the past.
He doesn't know, so you were gonna say something about horses.
They had horses and mules, and evidently back in the old days, did you know that Grandma Witt made homemade whiskey? And she told Bertha to keep watch for the revenues.
No, I didn't know that.
You said that Grandpa was an artist too, though, didn't he? He was
Yeah, he drew that mural at Grandpa Troy's house in Holdrege.
Another question, keep him going until he goes to sleep. So I'm sure all of you know too that Grandpa married Bertha Newfield, right? Was her first name? And they had the 5 kids, Bertha, Dad, John, and then Nita, and then Albert, and then Wesley. And then when Grandma died 1919 in the flu epidemic, he gave Albert and Wesley away, or whatever term makes you pleasant.
Relatives raised him.
And then we've heard from Albert Witt family something about Albert Witt was a little ornery, or the fact that some family who had not previously had children, then they get the baby Wesley, or he was born Samuel Witt, and Albert, and maybe Albert was a little high-strung or whatever, and then to have him plus a baby was maybe too much for them, and they gave Uncle Albert back, is what we've heard. And then Grandpa, tell us about Grandpa marrying your mom.
Well, he'd come to harvest and wheat harvest, come to Kansas, and married Mom, but he didn't tell her that he had 5 kids. So when she comes, he had a ready-made family. But getting back to Wesley, well, Ruth and I visited him quite a bit, him and Doc, and he works for the government. He said, imagine taking a drill and drilling through a human hair. And Wesley was really smart.
We met Dot once. We were in Oregon, and we met Dot, and she lived, just had her own house and lived with,
across the driveway.
and who was the,
One,
Juanita or Juanetta?
Juanetta.
And Gary lived there, and so they had 3 kids. So we have those cousins, and then Sandy Harms. So we have those cousins we don't even, that we've not really met. We met Sandy.
But Sandy's deceased now.
Yeah, Sandy died. Okay, quick question until his children take him away, until he says quit.
Do you know why so many of the family ended up in Hutchinson?
Well, all I know is they left Czechoslovakia, Russia, and come over on a ship, and they had one son died at sea, and his name was what? I can't think of what his name was, but they had another son. They give him the same name that son that died at sea.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
We've seen that in our history research where that would happen. But
I thought that they moved to Hutchinson was because of the base.
Well, but
I don't know
none
if
of
he
our
understood
people
the
were there.
question. Do you know why they moved, the different folks came to Hutch? Like Frida, Levita, and so on,
Aunt,
and
Uncle
you,
Frank.
and Frankie.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Why did you come to Hutchinson?
Wasn't no work out on the farm, so, well, all my sisters lived here in Hutch, so they said, come to Hutch, there's plenty of work. I've never had trouble finding a job, and all I went to school was the 8th grade, and then I took over the farm.
Oh my goodness.
And one time when Mom and Dad and I visited Grandma and Grandpa in Sugar City, Grandma was bawling me out for not going to high school. And I stood there grinning, and she told me later on she was giving me a bawling out for not going to school.
Did Grandma and Grandpa, your Grandma and Grandpa, they must have spoken English?
Grandpa couldn't speak English, he just spoke German. And when we had that big snowstorm in 1946, I was with the Messersmiths, and we come to La Junta to get a trailer load of coal, and we slid in a ditch, and Jack and I walked home from Sugar City, and Claude and Truly stayed with Grandma a whole month, and Grandma couldn't speak English, very few words, and Truly and Claude Messersmith, I don't know how they got by, but they did.
The Germans have a saying, I had to talk with my hands and feet. So they worked it out. Another question? Oh, come on, folks.
Tell them about the new, brand new car that your grandpa bought.
Grandpa Samuel?
And Otto drove it.
Grandpa Witt, evidently they had money when they come here, 'cause he bought a brand new 1929 Chevrolet, but he never drove it. Uncle Otto drove it all the time. So whenever they moved to Sugar City, and Uncle Otto and Aunt Fern took care of them, and they got the car.
Nice.
Good. Linda, do you have a suggestion for him?
I was just gonna, Kerry, where he delivers, there's been some silos, has the name Witt on the side of it. Down in
Slayton, Texas. You said they had gin down there. You had folks that had the cotton gin down there.
Right. Yeah, Ida married Gus Gatsky, and he had the cotton gins and so on. And do you know anything about Aunt Ida and Gus?
Their names is Raymond, Sammy, and Ruby, and I think they had a girl too.
Those are the Gatsky kids.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about Gus and Ida his business, the cotton mills and stuff?
Well, he owned 3 cotton gins, and maybe more. Because before I went in the army, I went and visited him, and he took me down, and we looked all over a engine with a diesel engine in it, and he gave each of the boys a cotton gin.
Oh my goodness. Nice.
And several of Grandpa's siblings ended up in Denver, right? Can you tell us anything about that?
Uncle Sam and Aunt Grace, well, they went to, he got held out on a farm in Carmel, so then he got a job in Denver, and that's where they lived the rest of the time. Oh, yeah, and about that time, we had raised pinto beans, and we stayed home from church that one day to get the bean cutter and everything ready to cut beans Monday. Well, that afternoon, a hailstorm come
Oh.
and it held it in the ground. So Dad said, no more working Sundays.
That was a lesson.
Yeah,
Was there a lot of music in the family?
Tell us about music in the family. Who played what?
They'd all get to the house and play musical instruments. Dad played the accordion, and Ted Clay was telling me there was a tornado coming in November and took that accordion away. I think Dad played the accordion and something else.
And what did Albert play? Because he had a band, right? And mandolin. Good.
What was your
And
question?
tell us about religion. They were Lutheran?
They had a Lutheran church in Carville, and now it's dedicated to the Lord at the Lutheran church in Carville. And then later on, it closed down, and so I don't know if Dad and all of them got together and built Blue Cliff Church or not, but George Smallsy owned that corner of the land, and he gave it to him for a church. So that's where I went to school and went to church at. Anytime the doors was open, we was at church. They had revivals that sometimes lasted 2 weeks.
And you went to school on a cow?
Did you ride a cow to school?
No, a horse. Pinto.
A pinto horse, okay.
By the times I walked. And we walked on this side of the fence because Bailey had a bull. We were scared of him, so we got on this side of the fence. And he'd always snort and everything. Scared us kids to death.
So how many miles was it from
4.5 miles.
4.5 miles to school?
Oh my
I
goodness.
remember coming from school, and we'd be a long ways from Johnny and Gladys's house. Of course, Grandma and Grandpa lived there then, and we could smell bread cooking. And we'd got by the west of the house. She'd be out there waving us in, and we each got a big slice of bread with butter on them.
Almost makes me hungry now.
Tell them about your, how fast you could run behind a car.
Uh-oh.
Well, one time I was seeing how fast I could run, and I was hanging on the spare tire
Oh.
on the old Model A, and Frank gunned it, and before I slipped and fell, I was running 35. I skinned that bother me. I brushed this blood and gravel off, and we played softball last morning. And we didn't know what a pain pill was.
What else did you do for entertainment? I mean, you know, so I heard music, doing anything else?
Well, I know outside of church, I know at Cargill they start playing softball Sunday afternoon. And Dad said that was a sin to play ball on Sunday. So we all got together and they played music. And I guess then they had a kind of a clean all the furniture out of the house and where there'd be room to kind of dance a little.
And a while ago you told us a little bit about maybe German food that was made. You said your dad cooked fried cabbage or something?
Dad could fry cabbage that would melt in your mouth, and it was brown when it was done. And I don't know how he does it. No one else I know of can make it like that. I think Charlotte Fair was the one that could come close to it. Of course, they lived in Germany for a couple of years when Kenny was in the army. And let's see, we made sauerkraut in a 55-gallon barrel that was in the basement.
Oh, goodness.
Tell us about Schmierkäse.
Schmierkäse, that's cottage cheese, and you put it in the cream separator and separate it, and then you put it in a bag, white bag, and hang it on the north side of the house, and whenever it gets a smelling, then you fry it and eat it, and they call it schmierkäse.
So käse is cheese, but I don't know what the significance of schmier is.
I do.
What other kinds of foods do you remember and so on?
Just eating.
Well, you know, no one ever went hungry at Grandma and Grandpa's house, that's for sure.
Right.
Good job, girls.
You
What
never
else you
go
want
hungry if you went to Ben and Ruth's house either.
I'll bet that's true, yeah.
You went away hungry, it was your own fault.
You didn't go hungry at your house.
If you didn't work, you didn't eat.
Yep.
Got him on a roll, Ron.
I remember Aunt Bertha lived with great grandma in Sugar City.
Yeah. She lived with them a while.
Because I think Butch told me the story that they would go and buy Grandpa's beer, right? He went to the drugstore or whatever, and was it a bucket of beer or?
No, it was
He got the beer made in Pueblo, Colorado, called Waters beer.
Oh,
And,
yes.
it was a dark beer. I didn't care for it. But one reason I think I didn't care much for beer or smoking or anything like that, Oscar and I was up in Lyman when I was 13 or 14, and we was drinking beer and wine and smoking, and I got sicker than a dog. So we stayed all night at the Hotel Grandma that night because Oscar didn't want to take me home like that.
Tell us a little bit more about Oscar because, you know, he didn't make it this far.
Well, he could tell some stories, which wasn't that good. I remember I heard some someone else that he was telling someone that there was a car that was red, and he had them convinced he was the one driving that car.
His nickname was Slim in the Army.
Yeah, he went by Slim.
Oscar.
Mhm.
So Oscar went by Slim in the Army, okay.
Does everybody know how he passed away?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, so,
You know how Oscar died? Well, we didn't either. All I know is we went to the mailbox. Charlie Smith delivered mail, and there was a telegram in there addressed to Dad that he was dead. And we didn't know what happened. But when they brought the body to Carville for the funeral, his casket was all in the top of enclosed in glass, so you couldn't touch his face. But Mom said it didn't look like he had a body. But one of his buddies sent Dad a Jack rifle from Japan and told us that there was in a foxhole, and one of the guys dropped the grenade after his pin had been pulled, and Oscar fell on him. He gave his life to save the other one.
Did you say it was one of his comrades, one of his fellow soldiers that dropped the grenade, or did the grenade get thrown in on him?
I guess.
I had read or heard it might have been a training accident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what happened in training
That's what the death certificate
in Paris, Texas.
So did you get done, Ron Witt? Ron Hablich?
I noticed you're wearing a Korea veteran. I knew you were in the Army because you'd come and spend some time with Mom and Dad and us when you were home on leave. Were
Well,
you?
I never went to Korea, but
I knew you were in.
I was in 2 years. But when I got out of the Army, they never told me I was eligible for any benefits. So I got my discharge papers in 10 or 12. I was in ready reserve. And I didn't find out until about 88 that I was eligible for VA benefits.
Yep. You served more than 18 months. You were eligible. Yep. Wow.
And here I raised all my family, and
No VA.
by the grace of God, I made it.
Amen.
Amen.
I have one. He learned a very good parenting skill by his 13 and 14-year-old story he just told. Because when he caught Steve smoking, he made him smoke a whole cigar at one sitting. And Steve's never smoked again. Remember?
Yes, Steve, when he was young, anytime someone threw a cigarette away, he'd smoke it. And Ruth and I was over to John and Glass one night, and I told Ruth, I think we're going to have to put a stop to that. So I got a great big long cigar.
Oh.
We made him smoke it all. And he never touched it since. He told Mama when he woke up, I'm not floating around anymore. Thanks, Gary. That was good. Keep it going. He's got a little energy left.
Well, Dad, didn't you do the same thing with Albert's sons with drinking? Didn't you do that too?
Yeah, I think so too. Albert used to send Darwin out to Colorado State this summer because Darwin was running around with the wrong bunch, and he drank anything to get a hold of. And we was going to Sugar City one time, Bob and Frank and I, and Darwin was up where, and we drunk I think we got a bottle of whiskey, and we went somewhere to get something to eat and come where come back and Darwin had drunk it all up.
Oh.
And we made, Darwin was, of course, out of his head, and more, and we'd give him more and more.
Oh.
And the next morning he was sicker than a dog.
Oh.
My dad stopped him. I guess them was the good old days.
In the good old days.
Anything else, Linda, you can think of?
Dad had an interesting fact about Oscar, that he had the bluest eyes. He would always comment about how blue they were. I mean, like striking blue. I'm sure you've seen some people that are like, whoa.
Well, Dad's eyes was real blue too.
It's just interesting. And then when you see pictures of them, you can see that, how bright they were.
What, you haven't asked, well, you said some. Who hasn't said anything? Somebody hasn't said anything. Joyce, your turn. It's time to get over being shy. Or Deborah Sue. Or Nita Ruth.
Oh, well, I just wondered how the family ended up in Carmel, Colorado.
How'd the family end up in Carville?
Well, they homesteaded for land out there. At one time, Carville had 3 blacksmith shops, couple garages, post office with a creamery, high school. They just rural little town, but they never did have a cafe.
That's a little unusual. So, do you know who came to Carville first? Was
No,
it
I don't.
Sam? And again, Lee Roberts has gone to courthouse and stuff, and Sam and Lydia evidently had the west half of the section where we grew up and where the house was. And in Joyce, you were saying your parents lived down like on the bottom half in that little house, 1-room house thing. And I don't remember who had them, but they did homestead. But do you have any idea why they stayed in Texas where they were, and then why they went to Idaho, and then why they came to Colorado?
I don't know. Ask the Lord.
Yeah, we'll do that. It's gonna be fun when we see each other again in heaven, however that works. So are you ready to go to heaven, Uncle Ben?
Yes, I am.
Oh.
In fact, sometimes I go to sleep at night and I wake up in the morning and I can smell roses in the room when I wake up.
Cool.
And Mom had some interesting dreams when she's married to Dad. It took them a long couple days to go to where Grandpa lives in back in the old Model A. It took them a couple days, and she had a dream one night that they passed this one town, and there was a guy with a white horse waving from the shop, and she had in her dream that he killed them. So when they went and seen him sometime later, on the way back, they come to this town, and here was the same guy Mom had dreamed about in her dream. So she told Dad, don't stop.
Mhm.
Okay.
Grandma told me that. She also told me that she had the dream that Uncle Oscar had passed away. And it was the next day that they got the letter. Grandma, Grandma impressed me in the fact that she convinced me that you never tell a dream before breakfast.
Right.
And you ask Lana to this day, I won't tell a dream before breakfast.
I had a dream, it was 5-6 years before Oscar got killed. And I dreamed he was on the roof working with the wind charger, and chopped his head off. And that's how he died in that foxhole. His head was blown off. But I dreamed about it years before it happened.
Good. This isn't gonna happen ever again, folks. Keep them rolling.
Oh, I got a story to tell.
Yes.
Back in about when we first got electricity, Jack Smith come by and we went over to Watts and played canasta until about midnight. And Faulkners from Iowa was visiting Mom and Dad. When we left, they drove a brand new 49 Chevy. And it was a bright moonlit night. You could read the newspaper at night by the moonlight. And anyway, I didn't think nothing of it, went to bed. And about the middle of the night, I heard a hideous laughter like you hear in the movies. And we had just gotten electricity, and I reached for the pull chain and turned the light on, and I thought I must be dreaming. And I put the light out, but I kept my hand on the string, and I heard that laugh again.
Mm.
And then I heard Brownie and Sporty barking, and I thought, well, I better see what's up. So I grabbed a baseball bat, put on my pants and went out there, and the Faulkners wasn't there, and Dad or Mom never heard it, but the dogs kind of looked up in the sky and quit barking. And that's about the time the UFOs were supposed to be seen. They go out around there. In fact, Dad was sitting in bed one time, and something great big flew by the window heading east. By the time he got up, it was gone.
It's creepy.
Oh, and in my dreams, I'd been to Mars. I flew all around Mars, and all it was empty buildings, no one there.
That was too many late night movies. Dad would wake us up in the middle of the night to watch Godzilla.
Oh my goodness.
He needed the company or what? He was afraid, was he? I don't know. Why did you like those scary movies?
Nothing else to do.
You mentioned a couple of dogs' names, so tell us about dogs and maybe their names and what role they played.
We had a dog that had part bulldog in him. His name was Brownie. And then a black and white hairy dog. His name was Sporty. And they'd get bit by a rattlesnake at least once a year.
Oh my goodness.
They hated snakes. And Oscar and I one time went over to where Sam and Grace used to live, south of where Dad lived, and we each had a bucket of water in our hands, and we walked up this grade here, and here was a great big tarantula or spider, and all I know is nothing to do. Oscar threw a horse turd, I couch turd at it and we run. one time after a big rain, Oscar and I was in the creek, and we always went up and down the creek to see what new things was done. And here was a snake with 4 or 5 other snakes attached to her body. And she crawled among some thistles and Oscar couldn't get to her.
It's gross.
Have you ever heard anything like that before?
Mm-mm.
That was during the Wild West.
Tell us about a freaking egg in the army.
Making cake, you mean?
Well,